Okay, so here we got Calvin from King's Prophet.
How's it going?
It's nice to have you here.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the songs that you did.
Yeah.
So you did Give It Time,
Yes.
Oh Whale, and I-5.
Yes, or TBD name. Yeah.
Yeah, can you explain that?
Yeah, well, so, I mean, we haven't officially come up with a name with it just because, at least as far as the guys in the band, they aren't completely solid on it. But because in the lyrics to the song, there's basically references to eyes, but then also I wrote it after, because I live in LA, and I used to drive back and forth between Orange County, which is where I'm from originally, and to LA. And every time I'd drive at night, I would see the fireworks from Disneyland.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so, but it was one of those moments where, like, I'd be driving and looking at it and be like, whoa, that's cool. But then at the same time, it's kind of like, oh, I shouldn't be looking at that. So it kind of, but then it kind of worked out in a way because it kind of inspired me to write the song. But then I-5 is kind of it's a pun because it's like, because talking about eyes, but then also the freeway. So then I-5, Interstate 5. So
gotcha. Yeah. Double entendres.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
With this song ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell us what your creative process is like with the rest of your bandmates.
So usually there's two ways that I've noticed it. Either I'm inspired by something that causes me to, write lyrics, and then I'll kind of have maybe, a few A and B like sections or something of a song, just a rough idea, and then I'll bring it to them and they'll sort of build up on it. Or other times they'll kind of have ideas and we'll work on something instrumentally together, and then once it's kind of solidified, then I'll kind of jump into that mindset of trying to add lyrics to it. But I tend to have trouble sometimes because I can't really forcefully write lyrics, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I tend to, almost all the songs that I write tend to be based off like strong inspirations or things that, kind of make me feel like I need to write, not because then it just kind of flows out instead of me trying to, sit there and think. And because I tend to just get writer's block really hard. So yeah. So just kind of like finding inspiration and letting that sort of guide the pen when I'm writing the lyrics. So
gotcha. Yeah,
so usually it's between those two. There are a few kind of middle grounds where maybe, I'll write lyrics as we're kind of writing stuff together, or it's just like I'll have a whole song already and then they'll just add to it, or vice versa. So yeah, so it kind of jumps around.
Okay. Let's go back on what you said about writer's block and just having to go through those experiences that will inspire your writing. So what do you write about? I mean, for example, like that song, Oh Whale, did you have a whole story behind that?
I do. So Oh Whale.
Why Oh Whale?
Yeah, so Oh Whale, I initially wrote it because there's a story about a whale that's in the ocean, and I believe it was in 1989 when it was discovered by the Navy, but they didn't really release the information about it until like a few years later.
Top secret stuff.
Yeah, basically, so it's classified. Secret whale. But yeah, so but the story about the whale is that the Navy recorded it and they found that it was singing at about 52 hertz, which is a super high pitch for as far as whales go, because normally they sing between 12 to 25 hertz.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and with the whale, it was dubbed the loneliest whale in the world because whales communicate through singing, and because
so cute. It's like life's a musical.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. But for that specific whale, it couldn't be heard because since whales speak at a lower register, they couldn't hear it singing. And so that's why it was dubbed the loneliest whale in the world, because it was, singing and calling out to other whales, but because no other whales could hear it, it just would keep singing and trying to find, somebody that would hear it. And I kind of equated that to, hopeless romantics or people out there that are kind of trying to find, that special someone, or even if it's not a someone, if it's a something, they just can't seem to find like what it is or who it is. So I kind of
So you're saying we're all whales?
Pretty much. Although some people find their whale and some people don't. But, in the past when I've written stuff, it tends to be either getting over something like hard but also to kind of having, not so much downer vibes, but like kind of just writing about the experience. Cause like when you're writing about sad stuff, it's going to sound sad.
Yeah.
So, but with that song specifically, I tried to, have a bit of give and take as far as like, because it is a sad story.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, with the lyrics, at least towards the end too, it's kind of like leaving it on a hopeful note, because what's the line? Basically, the last or towards the end of the line in the song, there it says, "I know it might be too late, but my hope for love won't fade away." It's kind of like thinking that it might be, the end of your search, but then you're not giving up hope because, there's still a whole ocean out there for you to search.
Yeah,
and so,
your whale on the other side of the sea is like still singing
yeah. So it's, it's
like
just
that.
kind of being persistent, not giving up, and just kind of, enjoying the song that you sing.
Well, like you said, like the hopeless romantic.
Exactly, yeah. So
that is cool.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like with our society, when we write love songs, there is a little bit of a sense of bitterness in them.
Definitely.
Where, like, someone has been wronged in the past.
Oh yeah, totally. I've definitely.
I don't want to like name
that.
names, but we've all heard it, especially in pop culture. So it's really nice to be able to hear something different in that regard.
Thank you.
So, you're not only in King's Prophet, right? You're in Thrift.
I am, yeah. So I just this year, in I believe it was February, I joined Thrift. Yeah, just as a guitarist. Although we've been sort of talking about adding me as a backup vocalist too.
Oh, okay.
But that's still kind of in the works.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just because the guitar playing can be pretty intricate sometimes. And so, it becomes one of those things where it's like trying to play tricky leads, but then sing at the same time. So,
totally.
Yeah, so it's just, I need to work on the muscle memory of it, but it'll be exciting because it's definitely something that I've been looking forward to. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I can totally relate to that because I'm a bass player as well, and trying to sing very complicated melodies while doing very complicated licks is just super difficult.
Yeah, Anna, our singer, she does it so flawlessly that,
she's awesome.
Yeah, I look up to her with, being able to play those tricky bass lines, but then also too, just being able to wail vocally.
She was the one that told me about muscle memory, and actually she's one of the people that inspired me to pursue music.
Yeah, no, she's a great person. Yeah.
Okay, so did you like this overall setup?
I did, yeah, actually. Like, considering, the first venue didn't work out, like, this is actually, I don't know, I mean, not that I was there, but I feel like this is almost cooler.
Yeah.
It definitely feels a little bit more intimate and kind of raw because, it's just in a backyard with some lights. And,
that is true. So, long story short, we were going to film at our rehearsal spot, but unfortunately, there are a couple bands who were playing in their rooms as well, and the rooms aren't soundproofed. So we had to change locations. Luckily, my parents love me. So we were able to come here and film Calvin. So, I mean, is there anything that you want to particularly promote or say or tell everybody?
Yeah, I guess just you can follow, if you want to follow King's Prophet or Thrift.
You should.
Yeah, you can follow us. It's just at King's Prophet, and spell it like it is spelled right here. And then if you also want to follow my other band Thrift, it's just at Thrift Noise. And both of them you can find music on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, all that good stuff. I think it's on YouTube too if you guys can't or don't have access to that. And we don't have any upcoming shows, but we've just been writing a lot of music.
That's cool.
And but hoping to play more in the Orange County area, because we've been playing a lot up in LA, but because
Yeah.
since we're from Orange County, we want to, start connecting with all our friends and kind of have them come
Of
to our
course.
shows.
And this is where we started off. Actually,
Exactly. Yeah.
Calvin and I met at the Lost Beam in Tustin.
Lost
At
Beam.
that open mic, and we've been friends for a couple of years now.
Mhm.
And it's been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember just like seeing you like do your own thing on
Yeah.
guitar.
Yeah.
And then now he's not in one, but like 2 bands. And he also sounds really awesome by himself.
Thank you.
So thank
Yeah.
you so much
Thank you.
for coming here.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. And also shout out to Tonalli for having me too.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
All right. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Bye.